Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We're looking at how to transition from Japan's temporary digital nomad visa to actual long-term residency. Look, if you're out there right now using this 6-month pass to live and work in Japan, you already know the clock is ticking. And getting to stay, well, it's not exactly a walk in the park. Right off the bat, there is a massive, stark contrast between this 6-month nomad pass and true residency. As a digital nomad, legally, you're just a temporary visitor, no residence card. That means you're locked out of the local resident register, you can't open a local bank account, and honestly, good luck trying to snag a standard apartment lease or even a local phone contract. It's basically a beefed-up tourist pass that lets you work remotely. It's built for consumption, not migration. So, here is our roadmap for navigating this crossroads. 1. The 6-month cliff. 2. The COE conversion barrier. 3. The business manager visa overhaul. 4. Elite tracks and corporate sponsorship. And finally, 5. Tax and healthcare realities. Moving right along to part 1, the 6-month cliff, literally the ticking clock on your stay. Here's the deal. The Nomad Visa is strictly non-renewable. You actually have to leave the country for a full 6 months before you can even think about applying for it again. So you're forced into a really tough spot. You either pack up your entire life and leave twice a year, or you find a permanent legal foothold. There is no middle ground. That brings us to Section 2, the COE conversion barrier, or what I call the onshore myth. This is a massive misconception, and it traps so many expats who think they can just figure things out once they land in Tokyo. Let me be clear, immigration treats the Nomad Visa exactly like a tourist visa. This means direct onshore conversion to a long-term visa is generally banned. You cannot just walk into a local immigration office and swap your Nomad status for a work visa. It does not work that way. So you have to jump through this strict, mandatory, legal loop. First, you apply for a Certificate of Eligibility, or COE. Now, if that COE doesn't clear before your 6-month cliff, and let's be real, processing times can take upwards of 8 months, you absolutely must depart Japan. You wait for the paperwork abroad, apply at a Japanese embassy in your home country, and only then return. Timing here is literally everything.
All right, Section 3, the Business Manager Visa Overhaul. It's time for a 2025 reality check.
If you're thinking, hey, I'll just start a business to stay, things just got significantly harder. The government raised the capital requirement from 5 million yen, which is roughly 32,000 US dollars, to an astronomical 30 million yen. That is nearly 200,000 US dollars. Unless you've got that kind of cash hiding under your mattress, this is a huge hurdle. It's a massive overhaul specifically designed to weed out shell companies and shadow vacation rentals. The jump in financial commitment is just staggering. And if you're planning on this route, you must hit all 5 of these elevated criteria at the exact same time, or your application is getting denied. You need that 30 million yen in verifiable capital. You are legally obligated to hire at least one full-time local resident. Plus, either you or that employee must hold an advanced Japanese language certification, like the JLP N2. On top of that, you need 3 years of management experience or a relevant master's degree. Oh, and your business plan, it has to be formally audited by a certified public accountant. Yeah, it's intense. And here is the real kicker for remote workers. You must secure a completely independent physical business premises. I'm talking a dedicated company nameplate, a desk, a chair, the whole shebang. Home offices, virtual desks, shared co-working spaces, officially rejected. No more working from your living room if you want this residency status. Moving to Section 4, Elite Tracks and Corporate Sponsorship. Let's look at some alternative paths. So, if fronting 30 million yen isn't feasible, what else can you do? Well, the most direct alternative is standard corporate sponsorship. Getting a work visa like the engineer or humanities visa is highly reliable. But the major trade-off, you sacrifice your remote location-independent autonomy. You have to be hired by a registered Japanese corporate entity, and your salary has to match a local hire, which is typically a minimum of 3 million yen annually. Your days as an independent global freelancer are totally over on this path. But wait, what if you want to aim higher? Well, 70 is the magic number to keep in mind here. This is the Highly Skilled Professional, or HSP track. It's basically an immigration scorecard. If you can rack up 70 or 80 points through your salary, education, and experience, you get put on an absolute fast track to permanent residency.
At 70 points, you get a 5-year visa and can apply for permanent residency in 3 years. But get this, if you hit 80 points, say with a master's degree, a decade of experience, and solid Japanese language skills, you can apply for PR in just 1 year. It's a real game changer. And if you happen to be a massive earner, there's the J-skip system. This completely bypasses the complicated points math. If you're an executive making over 40 million yen, or a specialized professional pulling in over 20 million yen, the government just automatically grants you that top-tier status and the 1-year PR fast track. VIP treatment, basically. Finally, Section 5, Tax and Healthcare Realities, the hidden costs.
Okay, we need to talk about the financial hammer that catches so many expats off guard once they finally secure their right to stay. Please, do not fall for this misconception. The 183-day tax treaty rule only applies to non-residents. The exact moment you get on the resident register, you are liable. Too many remote workers wrongly assume they won't be taxed if they stay less than 6 months under these treaties. But the second you transition to a mid to long-term visa, boom, you are a resident from day one. That treaty exemption vanishes instantly.
So, the absolutely crucial thing to remember is this. If your fingers are typing on a laptop inside Japan, Japan is going to tax that income. For your first 5 years, you're classified as a non-permanent resident for tax purposes. That means anything you earn while physically located in the country is considered domestic sourced and it is fully taxable. Yes, even if your employer is sitting all the way in London or New York. And you have to be incredibly careful about transferring savings from back home to pay your rent here. Doing so triggers immediate tax liabilities on your overseas income. This is called the remittance trap. Let's say you have untaxed foreign-sourced income, like from an overseas rental property. The moment you wire money into Japan to, buy groceries or pay rent, the tax authority considers that a taxable remittance up to that amount. It's a huge catch. And then you have to watch out for the year 2 health insurance shock. As a registered resident, you have to enroll in national health insurance. In year 1, it's cheap. They look at your prior year's Japanese income, which was 0, so your premium is incredibly low. But in March of year 2, when you finally declare your actual earnings, that premium is going to skyrocket to match it. It is a massive blind spot for new residents. So we've covered the strict visa conversions, the 30 million yen business hurdles, and those hidden tax traps. Japan is an incredibly amazing country, but you really have to ask yourself, are you ready to trade the untethered freedom of a nomad for the heavily taxed obligations of a resident? Do the numbers actually work for your global lifestyle? Take a hard look at your long-term goals. Is the trade-off worth it for you?